Biblical Archaeology, 3. Quote, "This ancient hieroglyphic record clearly mentions Israel by name. For the first time there was indisputable evidence of recorded interaction between Egypt and the Jews. The Bible records the history of the relationship between God and the children of Abraham. Archaeology confirms many of the historical details mentioned in the Bible." In this video series, we discuss various examples. Exodus, the Merneptah Stele, 1200 BC, Saudi Pilar, Wadi Sidri inscriptions. In 1990, Frank Yurko, an Egyptologist at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, used hieroglyphic clues from a monolith known as the Merneptah Stele to identify figures in a Luxor wall relief as ancient Israelites. The stele itself, dated to 1208 BC, celebrates a military victory by the pharaoh Merneptah. "Israel is laid waste," it reads. This lets us know the Israelites were a separate people more than 3,000 years ago. Flinders Petrie, British archaeologist, discovered the Merneptah Stele, 1208 BC. The stele is a record constructed 3,200 years ago in Egypt to record the conflicts with its enemies. The ancient hieroglyphic record clearly mentions Israel by name. For the first time there was indisputable evidence of recorded interaction between Egypt and the Jews. The Bible records that as the Israelites fled captivity, the Pharaoh mustered an army to pursue them. After traveling across the Sinai desert, the Israelites finally reached the Red Sea with the Egyptians close behind. The record states that a strong east-to-west wind blew throughout the night and dry land appeared from one shore to the other, allowing the Israelites to safely cross. Pharaoh pursued them across this land bridge, but the waters returned and consumed the entire Egyptian army. The well-known victory stele of the 19th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Merneptah, erected at Thebes in his 3rd to 5th year, about 1210 BC, celebrates victory over a number of enemies in Canaan. The text lists several defeated peoples and then mentions Israel, who is laid waste, its seed is not. Scholars agree that the date is fixed within a margin of 5 years, at most, that the reading, Israel, is certain. That Israel is followed by the Egyptian determinative sign for people, rather than the sign for a kingdom, city-state or the like, and must therefore designate some ethnic group. And that in the minds of the Egyptians, this entity, whatever it is, was distinct from Canaanites, Hurrians, Shasu Bedouin or other groups in Canaan well known to Egyptian intelligence and mentioned in this and other Egyptian texts. This fortuitous text is our earliest extra-biblical textual reference to Israel. The Merneptah Stele tells us unequivocally there does exist in Canaan a people calling themselves Israel, who are thus called Israel by the Egyptians. Moreover, if we look at a map based on the Merneptah Stele, we see that the Egyptian-held territory is clear. The Hurrians are located in the north. The Shasu Bedouin are located in the Negev Desert and Transjordan. And in less than a generation the Philistines and other sea peoples would be entrenched along the coast. What is left in Canaan in about 1210 BC as an Israelite enclave if not the central hill country? And if Merneptah's Israel was not here, where was it? The sensible conclusion is that there was an early Israel present in Canaan just before 1200 BC. This Israel was sufficiently in the ascendancy to come to the notice of the local Egyptian overlords. Merneptah's Israel is obviously to be equated precisely with the contemporaneous Iron One Hill country archaeological assemblage. The Merneptah Stele supplies a non-biblical, textual reference that affixes an ethnic label to this archaeological assemblage. Conclusion: many historical details from the Bible have been confirmed by archaeology. And there is no biblical narrative that has been falsified by archaeology. The Bible can be trusted as a collection of historical documents. Thanks to Michael Mote for compiling this information. Stele image, by own work, CC by SAW 4.0. See attribution in video description. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.